your Weather Authority forecast from meteorologist Amber Wheeler.
Well, we're pulling in some dry air this weekend. That's giving us some lower humidity starting on Sunday. Lots of sunshine and some cooler temperatures by Monday morning. Probably just your morning lows are going to be a little cooler here over the next few days. And current conditions, upper 70s to upper 80s. 87 out at New Orleans International, so still pretty warm there. Dew points in the 70s. We'll watch those fall here as we head into Sunday. But daytime highs today were in the low 90s. We hit 93 out at New Orleans International. That is just above that average. Average is 90, and the record was 98 set back in 2019. You'll feel a little bit of a difference here as we head into tomorrow. A high around 90, but the humidity will be lower. Here's your forecast for tomorrow. Temperatures by lunchtime in the mid 80s. We'll be back into the upper 80s to around 90 as we head towards 3, 5 o'clock or so, 3, 4, 5 o'clock or so, and even keeping with those upper 80s for the evening there. Weather headlines, we're even lower for that humidity as we get into Monday. We'll have a nice crisp feel briefly, and through this forecast, you know, your storm chances are going to be near zero a lot over the next week. We do have some small ones, but mostly down to zero for a lot of us, and the highs are going to be pretty seasonable, so no major spikes and no major dips here. So what we're under the influence of, you can see this troughed up towards the north. This is helping to dig in some dry air to the south. It's also helping to pull in some dry air around this ridge here, so all of this is what's giving us a dry feel. So the humidity levels will start to fall. Right now we're looking at some 60s and 70s for dew points tonight. That's pretty normal for this time of year. You'll feel a difference on Sunday. Dew points falling into the 60s, and the lower the number, the drier the feel. We'll see those dew points fall to the 40s and 50s on Monday there. And so when you have highs in the upper 80s, that's going to feel pretty good. They do start to come back as we get more of an easterly flow on Tuesday. So the humidity will rise again towards Tuesday, Wednesday. Here's your forecast for lows. When you get dry air, it makes for some cooler mornings. And so tomorrow morning around 70 to some mid 70s, so pretty seasonable for us. It's on Monday. I think we'll see some low 60s. Coolest temperatures on the North Shore there, probably seeing some 60s inland on the South Shore. And then once we get into Tuesday, we'll keep those 60s and those 70s. So no major drops here, but the dry air will feel pretty good. And you can see where that front is. It's pushing to the south. All the cool air, though, that's staying to the north. All the cool daytime highs, they're feeling like fall over the next few days. But that front is going to become stationary to the south. It will spark a few isolated chances for storms, maybe Tuesday, Wednesday or so. The chances are still really low. And then once we get towards the second half of the week, we'll get under the influence of this ridge of high pressure again, and that keeps us pretty dry. So you can see the next 7 days when it comes to rain potential, it's still really low for us. In fact, you could tell to our north it's going to be very dry. We're going to get in on all that dry air. So when we zoom in and really look at this, while the map is shaded in a lot of colors, when you look at the key, we're talking maybe 1/10 of an inch, maybe a sprinkle or two for you over the next week. So this is not a rainy forecast by any stretch. Checking out on the tropics here, I want to show you where we're at when it comes to the peak of hurricane season, because this is really telling here. We are still moving into the peak of hurricane season there. The peak technically comes in the middle of September, so we should be busy this time of year. These are the typical formation areas in the month of September. If you're going to see a storm, late August to much of September is where that is typically going to be found. But take a look at what our basin looks like today. It's very quiet. In fact, in a stunning reversal of things here, Invest 91L is fizzling out. Yesterday, we had a 90% chance that it was going to develop. Today, that is down to 0. You can see why. We've got a lot of dry air and some dust really coming into this system there, and it is expected to fizzle. So no tropical concerns for us right now. Here's your forecast for the next week. Temperatures around 90. We're really just watching a few small chances for some rain and storms Tuesday and Wednesday, really low chances. And if you're out on the water, just keep in mind it's going to be a little breezy here tomorrow and into Monday. Lauren?
I just love the lower humidity. When you had it behind you earlier in the show, I was like, huh.
It's going to feel good. Low humidity in early September and a quiet tropics. It's not getting better than that.
No, nothing's better than that. All right. Thank you so much, Amber.